You're listening to Small Business Talk with Jerry. Sit in on great conversations with entrepreneurs who risk everything chasing the American dream.
Hey everybody, Small Business Talk with Jerry. I'm Jerry. Today I have Craig Holschlag with me and Jeremiah Prigge. Jeremiah and his wife own Family Fun Center.
Jeremiah's wife owns it. Yep.
Jeremiah works for his wife at Family Fun Center is what I meant to say. Welcome guys, how's it going?
Good, going very well. Going very well. The hell was that?
What accent is that?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Swedish.
I talk too fast sometimes. My brain gets going, and then things don't come out right.
How are you, Jeremiah?
Wonderful.
Good.
Good. That was easy.
People at work, they ask me that. That's always my answer now. Is wonderful.
Yeah.
Some days it might have a little sarcasm in it. Sometimes it might be
right.
chipper and spry.
Every day's a good day.
Yep.
I mean, let's be honest. Every day's a good day. Yeah.
Fake it till you make it.
Yep. So let's talk Family Fun Center.
Yeah.
Give us just a quick little, where is it? What is it? I mean, Family Fun Center could cover a lot of things. So
Yeah. 7th Street, Northwest Rochester, Minnesota. It was started, it was under an umbrella of DNR Star Incorporated. Family Fun Center is the retail store that DNR Star started 67 years ago. I think the Family Fun Center was close to 40 years ago.
40 years ago?
Yep.
Okay.
No kidding.
Yeah.
That long?
Been around a long time. It's a staple.
Yeah. So it was family owned, still family owned. The wife and I purchased it. It'll be 2 years ago here in about a week. It'll be 2 years. And keeping it family owned. It's full retail for game rooms for in your home. We certainly can do some things for commercial establishments like bars and such, but its primary focus is for home game rooms, residential.
Okay.
Yep. Some people think we are an arcade, and they walk in and they're like, "Can we play pool here?" I'm like, not unless you're interested in buying a pool table or a pool cue.
Yep.
I try to be friendly about it, but at the
Sure.
same time, we don't want them just loitering and playing for free on games that might cost $1,500 or $10,000 bucks.
or more.
When people buy it, they want it to be new, right? They don't
Right.
want it beaten and abused by somebody that thought they were at an arcade.
Right. Absolutely. You still get a lot of that?
Probably twice in the last week.
Really?
No kidding.
Yeah. Yep, it happens. And then I try to send them to Machine Shed or Roosters for pool or something like that. So, it's...
Is that what they want? They want to come in and play pool, or they just want to come in and do whatever? They got kids. They want to.
Sometimes they don't know. I mean, it's a matter. The last one I remember were 3 probably high-end teenagers, or I don't want to say high-end, older teenagers. But they were friendly, and they asked. I said, "Can we play pool in here?" I'm like, "Oh, not really. It's a retail, but here's where you can go." And they were.
I mean, is there something on the? I mean, like, could you post something on the door or the side, like just say retail store, just to kind of give people that, I guess
Most people know when they walk in, they see that, but we've thought about putting something posted because really, it's the hard part is when that family comes in actually looking to maybe buy something, but lets their 7 and 10-year-old run around rampant, picking up pool balls from the tables, and you have no idea where they might end up going.
Cranking them across the table,
or sitting there and whipping the handle on that $5,000 bubble hockey. Trying to play the game, and it's like, ooh, it's new. Somebody wants, So I mean, we've thought about letting people know that it's not an arcade. Please, be respectful, because if you come in and you want to buy something, you want it new, right?
Yep.
So I mean, there's a graceful way to try to say it, but there's days that we're pulling our hair out.
I was in Boston last spring, so about a year ago, and working with one of the businesses, and we went into a Family Fun Center, basically the same kind of shop, and on top of all the games, the pool tables, the video games, they had the oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank. Like your bubble hockey, what do you call it? Not air hockey, but the
bubble hockey.
Oh, bubble hockey. Yep. Okay, and they had an air hockey table in there, and they had a foosball table. Every table had one of those like plastic sign holders with a sign in it.
Yep.
The placard, and the sign, it showed it was a a photograph of Mr. T with all the chains with his fist up, and it says play this game, and then of course it's got the I pity the fool on every single one of them. It's just he's giving this like fist like he's going to knock you out, and I thought, well, that's pretty direct.
Right.
But it was cute. It was funny. It made you laugh,
Right.
especially as an old guy. The young kids coming in and look at that going, who is this guy with all the gold chains,
Right.
And the mohawk.
Right.
But for us old guys, you see the A-Team or the old Rocky movies, you think of, Mr. T right away.
Yeah.
But it was funny.
Yeah, it's challenging though, because some people truly are in there to find a game, and you want them to find. You want to help them. You want to be courteous, but nowadays different than 40 years ago. How parents discipline their kids or don't discipline their kids, discipline their kids, or even watch them. It is challenging because you try to keep a neat store. I mean, honestly, I'm talking about the pool balls. A set of pool balls is $200 for a good set of airments, right?
Yep.
And one ball goes missing. It's not like you just go grab another one ball.
Right. Well, what's a set of Brunswick Centennials go for?
Oh, $500.
Yeah, they're $500 set of balls.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
and I got a set sitting out. So I mean,
expensive balls.
Yeah. So
big balls.
Yeah. But at the same time, you don't want to alienate the customer that might be looking at spending $15,000-$20,000 to do 5 different games in their huge basement in their brand new house. So it's a
fine line there, I guess.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. And so we had an Area 51 arcade game, which you're killing zombies or whatever.
And aliens.
Aliens. Yeah.
Yep.
And now that's sold finally. So now there's some carnival shooting game. So it's better for the 6, 7, 8-year-olds. Hand them this little toy gun and say shoot the balloons or the pop cans or whatever. So let them beat on that game so they leave the good ones, the expensive ones alone.
Yeah, I bet.
So,
And you guys have I used to be a pool player, but you guys have a hell of an
One
assortment.
guy beat him one time. He hasn't played since.
Just gave it up. It was embarrassing.
Yep. Yeah, we have currently 9 different brands of pool cues. And anything from Predator, Mucci, McDermott, Jacoby, Lacassi, Q-Tech, Viking, Pearson. Who am I forgetting? I'm sure there's somebody. Sorry. But anyways, we had some Joss, but we don't currently. But I would like to get them back in to get back.
I just sent a guy from the auto shop. It was been last week, but he was looking for something moderately priced, but quality.
Yep.
And I told him, I said, really the brand that I told him to go out and talk to you or Roxy. I said, the McDermott's or the Vikings, in my opinion, for what he was talking about.
That?
I did not, actually. I should. Yes.
Yeah.
I need to.
I didn't hear what you said.
I asked if you put a referral in for that.
Yeah, you should put that in.
I should, yes.
I don't know who it was. Do you know who it was? The name?
No, I don't remember. They came in not for cars. They came in because they wanted a tip put on, or because I used to do the repair years ago, and they haven't done that in years. But somehow someone gave him my name and said, "Come down and talk to me." And I was like, "No." And he goes, "Well, I don't even know if it's where." And he showed me, and it was an old with the. Drawing a blank on the type of wood, but it almost looks like a bamboo. The upper shaft, the old
Pine.
Not pine, but it's
I know a lot about pool cues.
Mostly maple.
But this was not a maple shaft. It was just, it had like the brass ferrule, and I was like,
when people bring them in, and I'm like, it's really not worth putting a $50 tip on.
No, that's what I told him to, and I said, but then he's like, well, and he said, what do you? He goes, you play? I'm like, used to. What do you shoot with? I'm like, don't ask me that because nobody sells them in town.
Balbuska?
Jerry Peach Hour is what I shoot with, but I shot with McDermott's for years.
And I stay away from Peach Hour, but I have an avenue for that. So Jody actually from AC Billiards carries them. When we got into business, he asked me. He said, "Sell whatever you want, just stay away from Viking and Peach Hour." I'm like, "Okay." And then about a year later, he's like, "Okay, you can get into Viking, but stay away from Peach Hour." I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah.
So when somebody comes in asking for Peach Hour, I just call Jody up. I'm like, "Hey, can you get this?" And usually I'll sell it to him and through Jody, and he'll give me a little kickback or whatever.
Good.
Great guy. Great.
Where's that at?
He lives in Elgin. Honestly,
good player too.
Yeah, he runs it out of his house. He's done it for quite a while, and I mean, I don't want to call.
So he's like a dealer for this particular queue.
Yep, and they're a good queue. But sorry, Jody, I've turned a lot of Peach Hour people into Mucci lovers because I'm a Mucci fan. So I let them shoot with my Mucci, and when you got a queue there that they can shoot with, they like it, and that's one thing that we do different than the previous owners. I mean, we have demo queues from the previous owners. I let them shoot with the cue that they want. And I say, if you're truly interested in it, put some chalk on it, shoot it. I don't care if you make the ball. I want you to be comfortable with the hit and know that you like it, because I'm not bringing that cue ball or cue back from you tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know, if you decide to buy it, it's yours.
Yeah, you own it.
I'm not in the market of used cues.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So we, 9 different brands. We have probably about 200 cues there on the wall.
Yeah, I mean, I've been in the store. It's fantastic. I don't
it is.
know crap about pool other than I beat 2 pretty good pool players.
Yeah.
Both happen to be sitting here, but whatever.
Yeah, well,
we don't need to go down that road.
Yeah, we let him win. At least I did. I was banking he ain't, but he won twice, I think, actually.
I remember how I beat Jerry. I remember
it was embarrassing. I remember that.
No, you let me win. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, because Jeremiah, I think, was banking the 8, and I don't remember how I ended up beating you. Might have been the same thing.
We were at
Roosters
too.
Yeah,
we were at Roosters too.
Yeah. So and then we got.
I think your wife kept feeding me drinks, is what it was.
That could have been.
Maybe that was it.
So and then we got cases. We got all the little trinkets for pool too, and darts.
I was just gonna say, I used to love playing darts. Yep. Used to love that. But you guys have a really good assortment in house.
Yep. I think we've doubled our assortment of quality darts that we offer right there from what it was 2 years ago when we purchased the store.
Well, and what I like about what you guys have parts.
Yep.
And that's the thing a lot of people don't think about when you're playing darts is, having extra shafts, having all the weights, having the tips, having the flights.
Yep.
I mean, and flights aren't flights.
Right.
There's so many different shapes and sizes of flights.
And colors.
And colors, right.
Yep.
And styles of material, thick versus thin, heavy versus light. It's reflective. I mean, there's just so many options. And you guys have a really good selection to go in there and put darts together to what you want.
I could have used you about 3 hours ago when I was talking to a customer. He's like, you don't have that. I'm like, I could have 7 different colors of one type of shaft or flight. And I guarantee somebody's going to come in and say, well, don't you have this color?
Right. Oh, yeah.
Like, what I have is out. We try to carry a large selection with the year-end.
You do have a good selection. Yeah. You can't have... We talk about that at the gun shop. It's like, he's like, well, you don't have much for holsters. There are hundreds of firearms out there. Each one takes a different holster. There are multiple styles of holster. And, I mean, we could literally put 350 holsters on hand, and good chance when you come in, the gun you have and the style you want, I'm not going to have it. Yeah. So I can't have that kind of inventory.
Will you order it for them if they...
Absolutely.
Yep, and that's the same thing I do. I tell people, and I had somebody do that yesterday. A good customer comes in all the time, grabbed the Post-it pad and wrote down 2 different shapes of the flights that he's looking for. I'm like, how many you want? He's like, just start carrying them. All right, tell the wife, because she does the ordering.
Yep.
So,
and that's the thing with... Now, like I said earlier, when we were talking... not earlier in this podcast, a different one. But, I said, it's not consumables, but that is. Flights, if you're a good dart player, you are constantly ramming one dart into another, and you are destroying your flights. Yep. And so they are consumable.
Yeah, I've never done that.
I get a kick out of somebody will come in 3 weeks after they bought, and they're complaining that the shaft broke. I'm like, you've been playing with it, I don't know how many nights a week, how many hours a night, whatever, but they there's a whole wall over there, and they sell them in packs of 9 for a reason.
Right.
Tips in packs of 50 for a reason.
Yeah.
I'm like, they're going to break. When somebody buys darts, I'll ask them, like, you might want a package of tips because you're going to need it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's anything fun costs money.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my dart case is the size of like a cigar box, you know, and I have a little tube that carries,
tips.
That holds 75 tips, and there's 2 of those tubes in the case.
Yep.
It has room for like 6 sets of darts, but then you have a set on a side where you have boxes and little slides or little divots that hold shafts, because you're going to bend or break a shaft. It's going to, again, if you're a good dart player, you're going to wreck your stuff. I mean, it gets wear, definitely. But flights, you don't necessarily wreck darts, but you're going to beat them up. You're going to scratch them up. You're going to beat them up. And if you like it to look good, when you buy shafts, and there's how many different lengths? 4 lengths to shafts.
At least, yeah.
I think maybe more. But and then all the colors and all the things. You'd have to have a wall.
Not only that, now you got spinners are locked.
Spinners are locked. I mean, true.
Whether it's carbon, aluminum, or plastic.
What the shit?
Yeah.
Oh, it's
yeah.
It's not hard to drop $200 on a set of darts.
That's insanity.
Right.
That's insanity.
So yeah, we cater a lot to the pool leagues and dart leagues.
Yep.
I always tell people, when we bought the store, that's and maybe this will take us into that direction in the podcast here, but they were going to liquidate it. I mean, it was going to be gone, and I didn't want to see that happen. I'm like, Rochester needs us. Well, it's kind of funny because the league section, I'm guessing, is probably 10% of our business. But I always tell people it's an important 10%. It's year round. It's people I know. It's friends.
Yep.
If it wasn't there,
Well, it's got to be old home week sometimes when you're, sitting in the store, all the people coming in.
Yeah.
The people you've been playing pool with for,
Yep.
how long have you been playing? 30 years?
29 or
Close?
30 years
20,
now.
It's been a long time.
My wife absolutely hates that. She's like, you've created a monster. I got friends that'll come in just to come over and shoot some pool with me, and I'm working sometimes.
Yep.
Usually I got plenty to do, and it's like, yeah, but doing that sells cues.
It does.
You
bet.
Or just whatever, So
Well, we're back to what you and I've talked to. We've talked about this. The three of us have talked about this so many times, so much over the last year. There's nothing that you have in your store that I have in mind that Craig does that you can't buy online. Right. So now you got to find those places where it's the touchy-feely, right?
Yep.
Like I can take a shot with it, I can grab it off the wall, and I have it in my hand. I can see it, I can touch it, I can feel it, I can shoot it. And then you have that personal relationship, right? Because, again, people just walk in, and, now I would, but I'm weird, right? But I would walk in going, yeah, I want the gambler. I want it in spades. I want the, and now.
Is that a pool cue?
It's a pool cue. And
Is that what it's called, the gambler?
There's one that's called Gambler and the one that's called the Casino.
Yep.
And there's multiple different colors or different cards of it as well.
Yep. And they have dice and they have cards and there's hearts
That'd
and
be
spades
cool.
and diamonds.
I got one of each.
Yep. It's very cool. Now, of course, Jeremiah and I, we just like the Android and iPhone thing that you and I like to bicker about. Jeremiah, we don't agree on pool cues. He is a Mucci guy all through and through. There is one Mucci another one I want is actually the Casino.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Yes, it's the Casino, Spades Casino. That is a Mucci that I will buy from Jeremiah at some point.
Just to have?
Yeah, because I think it's cool. I have like 40 cues, 38 cues. I used to have a collection of D series McDermott's from the 80s, and that's 26 pool cues. And they ranged at the time, brand new, they ranged from about $110, if I remember right, was the D1. I think they were 100 or 110 bucks. And then the D26 was $950.
Oh, for God's sakes.
And this was in the 80s. This is 40 years ago.
Yeah.
And it took me a while to collect them all, but I had them, and then I either bought them brand new, like new unused. They were old, of course, but I either bought them new unused, or I had Dale Chilton Custom Cues. He refinished them to brand new. Completely refinished.
And you don't have them anymore?
I was very fortunate. When I sold my pool hall, I put them on eBay, and I sold them to a guy in Kansas City.
Oh, wow.
I had 36 of the D series cues, because my first cue, which is a great story I'll share with you sometime, was a D12. I still have it. It's been stolen. I sold it once, and it got stolen once, and it's in the other room.
Oh, wow, really?
I've gotten it back, but I had to have, after it got stolen, it got really beat up, and I had to give it to Dale and have him refinish it. And then I got a steal on like a D9, and I ended up just owning a pool hall. People would come in and want to sell them. Tax season would come. People come in and buy new cues. Then 3 weeks or 8 weeks or 9 weeks later, they'd be broke. They'd come back, and the pool hall crowd's a different animal. It's for sure. But yeah, and that. So I've had so many over the years.
Got any Hublers?
I had a few. I probably have one or two left.
I'd love to see the collection sometime.
Yeah.
I think I got 22 or 23. Probably 6 of them are Mucci's. My very first cue was a Hubler. My wife's very first cue was a Hubler.
Heavy son of a gun.
Yeah, but when we bought the store, we took one of the McDermott signs off because there's 3 different cases with McDermott signs. We took one down, and there was a Hubler sign behind it. I'm like, I'm leaving that there.
Leave it up there. Even though
you can't get them anymore, but it's nostalgic.
Yep.
Sorry.
Okay, so for the those out there listening to this or watching this, for the non-pool and dart nerds, what else do you sell at Family Fun Center?
Moving on.
Yeah. Tell us about the bar stools. Really.
Yeah.
Let's
so
get into that.
I don't know my competition out there necessarily. I know a few of them, but I would venture to say we have the largest selection of different models.
I would agree. Yeah.
From Amisco, North American made, great steel metal stools, 82 different fabric coverings to choose from, 14 different colors of metal to choose from.
And now when we're, not to interrupt you, but when we're talking about stools, we're talking about things you could use in a game room, things you could use at like a breakfast buffet at your house.
Your kitchen counter, your downstairs bar in the game room.
I've seen a lot of these stools. I mean, not only at the store, but he brings them into our SBR meetings and stuff like that. I honestly don't. I mean, they look more at home at a high end breakfast bar
they look commercial.
I mean, than at a game room. Like I'm thinking at a game room, even in a home game room. Like you want a couple like, circle stools to sit around at a club table while you're playing pool.
You want something comfortable.
Yeah.
Well, no, but I'm saying what you would have normally. What I would think that I would have in a game room would be something not real comfortable, right? Because you're up and down, you're not sitting there for a long time. You're just sitting there,
unless you're playing cards.
Yeah, maybe.
You're way too energetic, Craig.
Well,
come with me. Eat a couple cheeseburgers. Take a load off.
But my point is, these stools that you have, because I've seen them.
Oh, they're awesome.
Yeah, like I don't want to get out of them. Right. That's my point. It's like they're so nice, they're so comfortable that I'm thinking like this doesn't belong in a game room. This belongs in like in a really high end kitchen at a breakfast bar. That's how I look at it.
Yeah,
like,
and they do look that way. And they are. They're
They're
fat guy approved. I'll give you that. They're comfy.
Well, and nowadays, I mean, the houses that are being built are nice. Yeah, luxury.
And that's where that's where I think they belong.
Yeah, right? I mean, they're a higher end stool, but they're also a stool that's going to last you 15, 20 years. I truly believe and know that in 5 years you're not going to be looking for a new stool like you will be with some of them.
Yeah.
What's the rub count? Or
a lot of it is 50 to 100,000 double rub tested.
That's kind of what I wanted to say.
That's 50 to 100,000 double rub tests.
Double rubbing.
You're so in and out. You're a little red in the cheeks,
So
50 to 100,000.
Yeah, so that's a lot of in and out of that stool before it wears out. Yeah. So, and I always joke, I don't know if it's an ant double rub or if it's a 300-pound person double rub, but either way, it's quality, and the frames are welded. Residentially, it's a 10-year warranty on the frames, the welds.
Oh, wow.
So I mean, they're going to last. We get people that have had stools 12, 13 years. They've moved or they've painted, and they come in and buy new seats, but not new stools for a lot less money.
Can you have
to make it look like they got new stools?
Sure.
Do you have them? So like, if you had a stool, whatever it had, can you get it recovered or not? Or like, you have to buy a whole new seat?
It's probably better just to get the whole new seat. That's really surprisingly quite affordable compared to the whole new stool. Sure. But yeah, we've actually ordered in just fabric. We don't have not seamstress, but not upholster. Yep. But we had a gal here literally about a month or two ago order new fabric, and her 85-year-old mother-in-law was an upholsterer, so she was going to make her do it.
My dad was an upholsterer for years, and it was cool. I worked for Kenny Howe's Upholstery here in town when I was a teenager, and that's an interesting business. I'm not interested in it, but it's an interesting business. Yeah,
I like to think you probably just cut, stretch, and staple, but I'm sure not.
Yeah, not so much.
That's how I do it.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So, but very good quality. We have 32 different models of the 100 and some that they probably have. I am currently implementing a Seat First program that will, for a fee, within a certain number of miles of Rochester, I'll actually bring up to 4 different bar stools out to your house, so you can see them in the area, so you know how many you need, see the style, as well as the fabric choices, the metal choices, and then when you do that, and it's a minimal fee, but when you do that, you actually get your stools delivered to you too. So that's a service. I mean, again, it's a customer service oriented business. Yeah. Who else is doing that? I don't know of anybody that's willing to throw 4 stools in the company truck and come out.
Not unless you buy it.
Right. And you know,
not without a commitment.
And that's the other thing. I mean, when you do buy them stools, I mean, we had 56 of them delivered yesterday to the store. Guys are starting to put them together today. 56 stools. That's a lot of box. Took me 2 hours to unload them and get them separated.
Sure.
Anyways, when you get them stools, we put them together. When you come to pick them up, you're putting 4 or 5 stools into your vehicle Are you banging them against each other?
Right,
I mean,
right.
do you want somebody else to take care of that for you,
But
so you
even
don't
a
have to worry
Suburban,
about that?
4 or 5 big stools in a Suburban, you're stacking them and banging them on each other.
Yeah, I don't
There's
think
no
you
way
put
you're
them in.
just.
Yeah, no.
You've got your Expedition. There's no way you don't just set them in there.
Right.
No,
I mean,
uh-uh.
And some of the customers are, I mean, honestly, and it's great, but some of them are in their 70s, 80s. And it's
Yeah.
like, they don't want to be carrying these 35, 40 pounds, whatever. I don't know if that's what they weigh or not, but
Right.
probably.
Well, they're sturdy. I'll give
Yeah,
you that. I mean,
yeah.
I sat in them.
You throw them around like they're 10.
Yeah.
So-
Well. So I had to go to the chiropractor today, and I did. Dr. Nate, scary.
He's not looking
spinal
for sympathy,
performance.
folks.
Right.
But a little bit, right?
but it's funny because he was working my shoulder and he just kept sitting there. I'm like, yeah. I said, I just did 2 hours of moving bar stool boxes yesterday. He's like, yeah, it's a little tense there. I'm like, good day to be here. So, but anyways, so and then so yeah, we've got bar stools, counter stools, poker tables, pool tables. We're a Brunswick dealer and an Olhausen dealer. Olhausen,
2 great brands.
yes.
Yep.
Brunswick's been 160 years, I think.
Yeah.
Olhausen, 53, 54, something like that. Made right in Tennessee, Olhausen is. So I like to promote the American made if I can. Brunswick's American company, but not made here.
Right.
But still.
Brunswick Gold Crown, my
Yeah.
favorite pool table of all
Yep,
time.
yep. And they got something
fantastic.
new out. I haven't seen it. I think I'll see it here in a couple weeks out in Vegas. I think it's a new version of it, so that'll be
I hope I'm not
interesting.
stepping on toes here, but you sell Valley too, don't you?
I do.
Okay, that's what I thought. Because they have a new table out.
Yep, the Valley Pro Cat, which I have one in the
When's
store.
the last time they had a new table? It's been 70s.
I was going to say decades. I would
Because
say.
I know the table I have in here is a Dynamo,
Yep,
which is the pre-Valley.
Yep, Valley and
it's-
Dynamo merged.
Yep, and then they merged, and then they came out with the Cougar
Yep.
in the. It had to be late 60s, early 70s.
Okay.
And they pretty much been, I mean, little tweaks here and there, color changes, the
Right.
blondes and things like that. But yeah, Craig's glazing over. We're talking pool tables again. Sorry.
Well,
There's a lot. Listen, there's a lot of jokes right there that was in there. Right? You talk about cougars and blondes and Dynamo. I mean, right? You have.
I don't know
There's
what
a
what
Dynamo
was
blonde cougar, right? I mean,
I don't know how many rubs you get from a blonde cougar, but there's something about that.
So
yeah.
I was trying to explain my tongue a little bit.
well, and nowadays many pool players will look at the diamond table as being the elite table. And
Pass.
sorry to tell you that are watching this that believe that. Try out a ProCat if you haven't tried out a ProCat, because honestly, it's a little bit nicer looking, in my opinion.
Yep.
I'll state that. Sorry, Diamond. But Diamond won't work with me because there's a gentleman around that's got the market because he's got a semi.
He's in the Twin Cities.
Yeah, and he's
that's too
he's
close?
tied in with a pool hall, and they got me stonewalled that I cannot carry
From the
their
Twin
tables.
Cities
yeah,
is too
Yep.
close. Yeah.
Yeah, and so instead
Diamond's
of
not a bad table.
no,
but
they're
I
a
mean,
great table. I love shooting on them,
Yep.
but because I couldn't get them, I got the Valley ProCat.
Sure. Can you still get it? Can you still get the Cougars? Or is the ProCat the only one?
No, you can get other ones. There was a Panther that you can get.
Okay.
There's different ones. I honestly don't know what all the ones because.
No, ProCat has tight pockets like a Diamond.
Just like the Diamond. It's got just as tighter corner pockets, tighter side pockets.
But now this is important because Craig's glazing over again.
Craig wouldn't be.
I'm
this
not
on the
glazing
ProCat.
over. I'm just
No.
you do it.
No, but like okay, so for me, if I bought a new bar box, I would want to play the ProCat. I'd want to try
Yeah.
it, and probably that's what I'd buy. If Craig bought one, you'd want a Cougar. And really, in all honesty,
I
for
do
me,
like
You want a
Cougars.
Cougar.
for me, I say the ProCat for me personally, but when we play here, it's not just me.
Yeah.
When I have the family over or you have friends over that aren't pool players, you want a Cougar. They're easier to play on. The pockets are easier. They're bigger. They're more forgiving.
And I'll say everybody asks, well, when's so and so going to put this in the bars? They're not, because you know what? When the casual family is out for lunch at Roosters and they got their kids and they're going to throw a couple bucks into a pool table, they're not going to put another couple bucks in if they're not making any balls because the pockets are too tight.
Right. It's going to take them 2
So there's
hours
different
to get
sizes?
Yes.
Oh yeah, and
Different size
angles.
cougars.
Yeah, different size Cougars. Yep.
Different angles?
Different angles of the pockets. And that's
Yep.
what funnels the
What
ball
this-
in versus take a snooker table.
So it's
you
absolutely incredible that I beat both you two at pool.
It's very lucky.
Stop.
Yeah.
There's a
So-
lot to it.
Yep,
You
and
know,
then,
on
a different cloth. There's
Yeah.
different speeds of cloth
Different
and
speeds of
things
cloth.
like that. So
How
there's a
does the
lot.
bar have the door open? Is it humid?
Right.
You know, and we talked about you. I saw Craig's eyes lit up. We were talking about. I said, how about a set of Brunswick Centennials? That's a set of balls. They're like $500.
Yep.
They roll absolutely perfect. You think about that. You take a ball. If it's heavy on one side versus it's cast. So if it's heavy on one side versus the other, and you roll it, it's going to roll funny or it's going to curve off. Now, when a ball curves off, you assume the table's not level. Well, are you worth a shit? Did you put a little English on it that you didn't think you did? It's going to curve off. Is the ball not true? It's going to curve off. Is the table not true?
Or the rubber cushion.
Or the rubber cushion.
Did somebody grab it? Did somebody sit their butt on it? For
Yep.
PSA, don't set your drinks on pool tables. Don't set your ass on a pool table.
Yep. Yeah, it's hard on them. It absolutely is. It wears things. And so that's why when you buy a set of, you can buy a $50 cue ball. You can buy a $3 cue ball. They're different.
Yep.
They're way different. And so, but there again, none of that matters if you're going to have your grandkids playing on the pool table, right? Or you have your friends come over that don't play pool, but it's something to do on an afternoon. Yeah, come on down. All of a sudden, all these quality projects mean nothing.
Right.
It really doesn't.
It's funny. You get these bar owners out there, and they'll be like, if a table's not level, like, well, everybody's shooting on the same table.
Yeah.
Yeah, but a position player who is putting that cue ball within a 2x2 area for his next shot, it matters compared to the person that's just hitting balls in and doesn't care where the cue ball stops.
And,
so it's not the same.
And the other thing, we always said that when you're a bar owner, and I was a bar owner, you're like, well, everybody's playing on the same table. That's true, but not everybody is going to get the same roll off that table because I'm taking different shots, and that's going to win or lose a game for me at some point. You know, that's it's a big when you're serious about. But now again, your grandkids doesn't matter,
Right?
But you don't ever have to level that table.
But bragging rights, which is obviously important to you,
well,
it matters.
Just it.
Right. But that's the thing. And not picking on you, but if we put you on a Pro Cat or a Diamond table with us, you'd never win. And you'd be so frustrated.
That's let's calm the F down.
Oh, no,
never say never.
Right.
No, capital N. Never.
Yeah.
but I mean, seriously, the chance of you winning a game, it's like it when
Listen,
you're not
I
a
used
player.
to play a lot of pool. I mean, I haven't in like 20 years, but I wasn't terrible back in the day.
I don't know about that.
You don't even play anymore.
No, I don't. I don't. It's been years. Yeah. It's been years. But it's a big difference.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then to move on to the next one because I know we're going to get close on time here in a little while. Skeech.
Yeah.
New game that I know Craig really likes.
Skeech.
Yep. Was started by a couple guys out in Colorado. Olhausen just purchased it at the end of 2024.
It's basically cornhole and shuffleboard with balls.
Yeah, with pinballs. Which ironic. So I mean, if you lose, you have to stop in and see it.
I'll have to look at that.
It's a lot of fun. I tell it.
Oh yeah, because you're not in the Thursday group. We talk about in the Thursday group all the time.
Anyone
we
from
cover business.
Well,
Small business referral group.
Yeah, well,
we work that.
We have fun and still talk about business.
Anyone 6 to 86 can enjoy Skeech against each other because there's a element of luck, but there's skill. But really, it's pretty simple. But yet, it's a hard game to win.
Okay.
I mean, anybody can win it, so it is a lot of fun. Shuffleboard, we carry them again. Olhausen, Brunswick, Holland.
I used to love shuffleboard. When I had my pool hall, we had a shuffleboard.
That's a fun game. Do you carry different sizes of shuffleboard?
Yep. So I have a 9-foot and a 12-foot on the floor right now.
Are those two standard sizes? I mean, the only reason
12 is the most common. 12, and then there's 14. 20. I mean, that's
because a couple of years ago I was in Nashville with some buddies, probably 3-4 years ago, and they had I don't remember where it was at. It was at this barbecue place. They had this, and it was huge. It was a huge shuffleboard, and we played it for like hours. It was so much fun.
It is fun
because like they had one at the workshop here in town, and then it's kind of a shorter one, but like. It was because it was so big, it was so far away. That's what made it fun. But I didn't know if they had standard sizes there.
Yeah, I had a 12-foot when I had my pool hall, and I enjoyed that. I had so much.
That's a fun game. I do enjoy that.
Yeah. And then we have neon lights. We have pool lights. I have 2 installers. So and maybe that's a place for. So again, it's family-owned business. My wife and I, our installers are our boys. One of them is going to
good kids too.
Yep. One of them's going to college to be a physician's assistant. He's also in the National Guard, so I think that's where he'll take it. Yep. So I honestly will probably only have him for another year or so, maybe. I don't know. The younger one, I don't know what he'll do when he grows up, but I'd love him to take an interest in taking over. I mean, it's a great industry, a great business, and there is some pride in being a table mechanic. So I mean, we sell probably 50 new pool tables a year. They're out recovering another 100 or so pool tables that are existing out there with new felt. Today they did an air hockey assembly as well as a dartboard delivery and a pool table installation. So I mean, yeah,
I might buy a pool table instead of cancer insurance so I could actually,
this podcast has no clue what you're talking about.
No idea.
But that's all right. I tell you what, if you like,
everybody knows who Jeremiah is, who's listening to this. Hopefully, if you don't,
right.
That's right.
Yeah, and if you don't,
One-stop shop, pool tables, dartboards, bar stools, cancer insurance.
Yeah,
This,
right.
Yeah. Well, that brings up ERO Game Gear, and we got the clothing from ERO Game Gear, which really essentially gives money back to different places that need it. People with health issues. We've done scholarships. We've done money to schools and shops.
Tell me what.
So it was
we know what ERO in pool stands for earned run out when you run a rack. But what does ERO stand for in ERO Game Gear?
Eric Rumstick Open or Eric Rumstick Out. A good friend of mine, unfortunately, fell off a roof doing shingling here 13 years ago. His name was Eric Rumstick. So the initials worked. So some of his friends and myself, we did a memorial pool tournament for 12, 13 years. It is still ongoing. It has split into two different entities now. The original guys minus myself still run the lower division for the Eric Rumstick Open Memorial Tournament. My wife and I started ERO Game Gear to be able to raise money year round, not just one weekend a year. And we all have the same goal in mind, to raise money to give back in Eric's name. So the tournament that I guess moved it into is the ERO All Tribute Tournament. Trying to remember, again, it's because of Eric, but at the same time, all the people that pass that aren't part of, or that are worst pool shooters, but don't get their own memorial pool tournament. This is a way for them to be remembered. So, a good friend of yours and now becoming of mine, Ryan Risto from Liberty Laser Designs.
Yep.
We put.
Is he a pool shooter?
Oh yeah, Ryan.
Yep.
Ryan's played for years.
So he does.
Just have to be him next.
We do like 9x12 slate pieces and with their name and their birth year and year of passing on it, and it's displayed at the Family Fun Center. And you don't want that wall to grow, but it's going to. And it's a great way to remember everybody. So that's we've got clothing on that. There's something coming up new. I got a meeting tomorrow that'll be some good info to share when we do that. I'm keeping that under wrap until I know I get it lined up.
Secrets, folks.
Yep,
Secrets.
Yep.
You heard it. You didn't hear it here first.
Future podcast, future pool podcast. So anyway, so yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff at the Family Fun Center in Rochester. I guess truly like to believe that we raised 5 kids, the wife and I, and talked to a lot of our customers, and it's nice to know where your kids are hanging out. Yep. Make your house be the place that they invite their friends
home.
over. Yeah, bring fun home.
Bring fun home.
Bring fun home. That's the tagline I came up with.
One thing that you're not going to do at home that you still have like disc golf too, right?
Not
or
anymore.
Are you getting out of that? Oh, you're getting out of that. Okay.
I actually took all my discs over to Ron at Sports Headquarters.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yep, and he's we're friends. He's also a policy holder, so it's like I'm not going to compete with him for the price of discs. It's not worth it. I don't want him getting into pool tables, and I'm staying out of the golf and baseball and stuff like that. Sure. I don't know. I thought about actually combining it all, but I'm too old for that. Yeah. If I was younger and had 5 more kids, but that would be something. Yeah. So anyways, but yeah, it's mainly indoor. You could almost call it bar sports, but so.
No, that's awesome, and you're enjoying it.
Yeah, most days. Most days. Yeah. It's business, any business. I mean, there's a lot more work than what I thought. Again, I said on the last podcast, I'll say it on this one, I couldn't do it without my wife. I mean, she's the bookkeeper. She's the back end of she's the yin to me being the yang. I like to just spend. She's like, oh, hang on, we don't need that right now, and she keeps everything in line. But she's a heck of a sales gal too.
Yeah. Well, she's super sweet. I mean, she's just very relatable, very personable. Yep. You got a good one.
It's kind of funny. There'll be people that'll be talking to her, and she'll go up and check on something or work with something, and I'll go up and so I'll kind of take over. And one lady one day here a month ago, went back to my wife. She's like, he tried taking your sale. It was hilarious. and it's like, yeah, we work well together, and we actually enjoy working together. Talking pool tables, because when a couple comes in, that's what we are. We're a couple, right. and right. It's just a casual, fun conversation of what we know to try to help people enjoy it, and we use real life experience.
Yeah. Well, and earlier the conversations we had about the pool cues and the pool tables. I mean, you have a tremendous amount of knowledge to share.
Thanks.
Well, I mean, but that's important. A guy comes in to buy a $5,000 pool table. That's a big deal,
Yep.
So, well, we are about done.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Are we looking good? I know Craig's got things to do here,
he's
so
got,
we're gonna.
I would like to. I mean, yeah, I gotta get on a call, but
we'll do another one of these with.
This one is actually really interesting. Like, there's so much more at Family Fun Center that we didn't even talk about.
Oh, so much more.
Games and pickleball and
once I got that secret ironed out, maybe we'll have another.
Yeah, that'd be a great time. So you'd come back and do another one.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome, Craig.
Nothing. All I can say is go check out Family Fun Center. It's a really cool store. I mean, it's a really cool store.
Or
if you haven't been there, it's really cool.
Or if you're not from Rochester and you're a long ways away, but you got questions about pool tables, pool cues, darts, things like that. I mean, I'm more than willing.
Ask for Jeremiah. Like I said, this guy has got a tremendous amount of knowledge.
Yeah.
So as we wrap up, for the folks that want to come see you or talk to you, what's the best way to get a hold of you? I always ask that at the end.
Honestly, Jeremiah at familyfuncenter.com. Jeremiah, just like it's spelled in the Bible. So look that up. It's easier than me spelling it. Jeremiah at familyfuncenter.com. We got a website. Facebook, you name it.
Okay.
Look up the phone number. Any which way. My cell phone is out there everywhere too.
Okay.
I answer my phone 18 hours a day.
Well, he has caller ID, so he doesn't answer when I call.
Right.
Everybody else.
Right.
You guys are safe. All right. Well, this is Jerry with Small Business Talk with Jerry. Craig and Jeremiah, thanks again. I look forward to doing the second round.
Cool.
Awesome.
Thank you.
See you guys. Have a great night.